40 schools, I do believe, nominated here at Beef 21. It's great to welcome all the parents and school teachers.
There you go.
As we said, we are going live on Stock Live, so a big warm welcome to all the people that are watching at home. If you're not able to be with us here this week in Rockhampton. But the weather's perfect, the track's fine, and a little bit of cloud around here in Rockhampton, here on this beautiful Monday. Public holiday here in Rockhampton, and it's People's Day here at Beef 21, so tell your friends, tell everybody to make their way out to the beautiful Rockhampton showgrounds for Beef 21. So we'll take a quick break here in Centre Ring, and we'll be back very shortly.
is well worthwhile. It's a great event, great to see very healthy number of teams competing. You've all been watching paraders and all that and seeing there's certainly some quality out there, and the beef industry and the seed stock industry
This is mine.
You have it. I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
Do I see it? Gotta see.
Getting old and bloody cranky.
Crankier. For some.
Stop it.
Oh,
We can't even see it.
can you hear me? I'll read their ages, or tell you their ages as they go.
Joys of life. What are you? Someone.
Okay, teams, you're able to come and move amongst the heifers. Just remember, stay a few metres at least off them. Don't be getting too close.
That's 2 runs I've had of it.
That's it.
Yeah, bloody good. Actually, on bail and bloody.
See how we go. See how we go. So you can see me playing.
Too much of a good laugh.
They come up here as well.
Hoping that that's Andy.
Pulled up in the cruise. Good fast. Well, jump well in.
Yeah, well, that was before. Yeah, well, you went past, but when you had the original fighters on the van, and we had 73.
Yeah. Well, I got back on the cruise. I feel well. Went out on that flat. By the time I got the funeral, it was only from there. Met some other dickhead. Next time we have sex for the child, I'll work
Pretty good nowadays, these days, trying to get one fall not on the bullseye.
Trying to get one.
Trying to get one, I was going to say.
Shorten that down, please. Let's redefine that just a little. Walked onto the back of the table the other day. Went, you're home early, dear. That's why.
Yeah, don't forget it.
Ladies and gentlemen and competitors, you've got 2 minutes remaining on this class. And if you have finished your card, can you come and hand it in to Mr. Les Marshall? Let's stand in the middle here. Like Sharif said, you're not speaking on this class, so you don't have to write notes, so it should be pretty quick. So hand your cards in to Mr. Marshall. Okay, time's up. Can you all hand your cards in to Mr. Marshall over here? He's waving his hands. And then once you've done that, can you all just come back on the outside of the ring so we can bring the bulls in? Hand your cards in, everyone hand your cards in please. If you don't mind, can you move out in an orderly fashion with those females? With the animals? You can move those out please. Thank you. Okay, hand your card in to Mr. Marshall over here. Make sure you got your name of the school on your card. And once you've done that, can you go back onto the edge of the ring, please, like you did before?
There you go. So no, since this little transmitter's been in there, that radio mic's been dropping out. So I'm just thinking, what's going on? As close as that frequency frequency to that one. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't had any issues all morning, but once they plug that in, this one's been dropping in and out.
That's landline. I think that one.
That one? Yeah. Could be. Well, it's going over this one truck here, but can't work out what frequency it's at. Yeah, they put it on in a shorter lead.
By the end of today, you'll have your open, so
Maybe it's on a different vertical plane. So that's a transmitter, that one. And it's transmitting right beside my antenna. I'm going to talk to them and see if they can't get it vertical
just the rings all the stuff. Thanks, buddy. You can write, so
Okay, all the competitors in the skill teams. Hopefully now all teams, if you haven't got your cards in Mr. Marshall, Les Marshall here, bring them in. Be great. We're just going to take a bit of time to go through things, and our Cherie, our judge, will have a talk to you then regarding how she placed all the heifers before we move on to the steers. Bulls. We'll do bulls, eh?
Is there any way that we can either set you up over this way or further that way, standing directly in front of the antennas, which is also causing some of the bits and pieces?
yeah.
Yes, wasn't dropping out the small.
So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're just, on behalf of the Charbray Society, we are extremely pleased to, and proud of the fact to have been involved with the skill teams judging. Teams, I know when you're going to get up here and you're going to talk about, later on, we're going to be talking about the bulls and stuff like that. Part of this is to get some Charbray cattle around the ring as much as we can, so certainly, hopefully you appreciate the cattle, but go home and pester mum and dad. If they haven't tried them, they should start now, or maybe you wait till you take over and give them a run then. But certainly we're proud of the cattle, and we are very excited to have an opportunity and have such eager eyes looking over them. So congratulations for starters on all of you turning up and having a go at an event like this. And thanks to all the schools involved. The ag programs along there are certainly doing a great job for beef industry, agriculture in general. So well done to you all, and yeah, let's keep it up. there's going to be plenty of judging. All the stud cattle starts in the morning, so certainly I know a lot of you children out there will be involved in leading stud cattle and everything, but yeah, certainly get out there and have a look. There's a lot of time and effort goes into it, as you all know. But yeah, our Charbray judging in particular starts at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. We have Miss Renee Rutherford from certainly well known locally up around here, judging over them, and the cattle you see in front of you here today, there'll be quite a few more of them and some stiff competition, I'm sure. Just with some Charbray news, annually we're spread around. We've got some very capable counsellors and members up around the Rockhampton area. We've been a bit proactive, and if you ask me, sometimes breed societies probably we should have to stick to just promoting our cattle, but we have started going down the line of trying to get some local product into restaurants and around, and we are doing a Field of Fork campaign at the moment. You might see anyone coming past. We've got a site on ground down near where all the Charbray cattle are stalled, and our Field of Fork competition is we're going around restaurants in local areas across at Yeppoon, and it's growing quicker than we really even imagined. So certainly something that we're proud of, and hopefully we've got an animal that not just performs in the paddock, but it does actually hold its own on the dinner table. I'll hand over to Sri now. She's going to have a talk about the ages of these bulls parade in front of you now.
Typical old showground.
You think she can walk any further away?
So bull number 1's 19 months. Bull number 2 is 18 months. Three's 8 months. And also 8 months.
You don't get this in the video.
No, I don't.
They're all pretty much the same age, guys, so just run with that. They're all 18 and 19 months, so you don't have that really as a thing to use to split them.
Are you doing Friday, Saturday?
Yeah.
Did you put your finger over? Did you put your finger over?
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, while our students are all placing these classes, it's going to take a bit extra time for them because they are talking on this event, and they certainly put some pressure on themselves. But just like when we look out there between 18, 19-month-old bulls, you're going to see throughout the show over the next 3 days some very impressive young animals coming on with the timing of a show. Like when we're talking early May, and a lot of these animals are going to be the ones that are hitting the sale circuit when it comes to the spring. So certainly this is a prime time for these animals to shine. We are going to see some bigger ones through the classes. Some of those have probably been held back for events such as this, but certainly doesn't make it any easier for our competitors out there when you've got a lineup of bulls. As Sri said, I'll tell you, only a month between them all. So the performance that we're getting into cattle today is commendable. Certainly appreciate it, and the fact that they're doing it out in the paddock, and I know these fellas aren't. for sure, but certainly what we want. We've, as you know, I think it was mentioned by Kim in the paraders class. Beef comes around pretty quick when you got years like we've got dished up to us in the last few. And as driving into Rocky, you see it hasn't sort of changed a hell of a lot, as even around the grounds. That wet summer sort of avoided a fair few. I know it's a lot brighter in a lot of areas, but we certainly want cattle that are adaptable and get out there. And I think there's an example of 4 animals out there in front, and that's something the Charbray breed is pretty proud of it.
You can have some of that if you want. It's a bit healthy,
Oh, yeah.
Recreate.
You only have done one PBR. You can't get in.
No, at the moment, that doesn't have a clutch yet. It would be nice if you had two, but then you had somebody who do the interviews and so on.
Is that what they're working for?
That's what we'd like to have, yeah. There's always have a second one there on the side, and just do result on interviews and that sort of stuff, and give that action. Hey, you need someone to get out of the way.
Sorry, no, you were talking.
Yeah, see, down at Sydney Royal this year, they usually have the PBR.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, well, to as well.
So you've been about.
Oh, yeah.
Righto, Pete. Thanks, mate.
So, what?
Skill. There's 2 minutes left. If you can sort of start winding up a little bit.
You say you do a bit of
If you're anything like me in exam time, that's when I just put my name on top of the page and threw the pen on the table and away I went. But I'm sure you're going to do more than that.
where was
I do the rodeo at Sydney Royal.
Oh.
I do the main ring in the rodeo.
Yeah,
That's why I do the show for the year.
that's awesome.
Just remembering there is consultation here. It is a team event. Mr. Terry Connor was just reminding me of that to work it out with each other.
Yeah, my last show, I'm on the road now for 3 months. My last show will be the last weekend in July, Darwin Royal.
Oh, really?
The last one.
What date is that?
Just Cairns, I do Cairns and then fly to Darwin.
Yeah.
It's like 27th or 8th or something. I'd have it written in my diary.
I'm up in Darwin.
The Darwin Cup's in July, isn't it?
Start of August. Maybe end of July, start of August. How long have you been doing this for?
Oh, I don't know. 12 months.
Yeah. That'd be so cool. These little
Yeah, no, I'm right. Yeah. I'll snack on it all afternoon. Thanks.
Okay, competitors, when you've finished handing your cards in, you can go as a team and sit over on the side and get ready because the heifers will come back into the ring. And the pressure will be on Cherie to tell us or how good the heifers are and how she placed them. And yeah, she may not place them exactly how you did, but as long as you're backing up the way you put it, I think you're going to go all right. Our main official here saying time's up, so if you can hand your cards in.
It's the contract, yeah.
What's your name, sorry?
Jay Smith.
Remember how you placed them?
Oh, Isabel. Yeah. Please meet you.
Yeah,
Where are you? Yeah, Bridget, yeah.
And make your way over to the side so we can clear the bulls out of the ring, and we'll have some of the heifers come in.
And you're from Doncaster?
Well, from Roma.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So if we can have our handlers of the heifers, if they can be ready to come back in very shortly.
It's a good show.
They got the university there.
Quick swap over of handlers.
How did you get into this?
Very much appreciated the handlers coming in. They're not winning a prize today, so they're certainly good at what they do.
How did I get into shows? I've just got asked to do one show.
I'll hand over now to Shree, and she'll take you through the heifers. And before we move on.
And then once you get the job at Sydney Royal.
Okay, teams, I hope you're all warmed up. So as the heifers come in, I'll place them, and you can see then by comparison what you've done. Hopefully you'll remember. Then I'll speak on the heifers just to give you an idea of what basically I expect when we're judging, the different things you can look for. Don't go changing your notes just to try and copy me. However, you need to speak, and it needs to genuinely come from you and your team members. Remember, you are a team. Just because one of you has been nominated to speak doesn't mean all your ideas are the ones that should be spoken about. It's a team effort, so please listen to your team members. We do occasionally have the speaker freeze when they get up there, so it's okay to swap out if that does happen. I'm not going to come down really hard on you because one of you has started stumbling and isn't able to carry on for the team. So as these come out. So if you competitors could all please just give the handlers a big round of applause to say thank you for standing out here in the hot sun so you can do the competition. Thank you, handlers. So as you come in, I've placed them 4, 1, 3, 2. So if you can go from this side across, 4, 1, 3, 2.
St. Brendan. We got green and gold, and I didn't write number on the leg side.
Can we have a representative from St. Brendan's, please? Someone hasn't written what colour they are on their card. Can you go up, please? Otherwise your points won't be able to be allocated. St. Brendan's rep to the tent, please. Okay, while they're allocating the scores for the bulls, which is the ones, the animals that you will be speaking on, I'll give you a run through of why I've placed this beautiful line of heifers as they are. So the heifer that I put up in first place, she is the oldest heifer in the class, but she's also the most complete heifer in the class. What we're looking for in our females is productivity. They've got to go on and they've got to produce, and that's the whole aim of all of these cattle that are turning up here at Beef Week. Just because they're stud cattle, you know, we want them looking nice and fat and shiny, but the ultimate aim of any beef animal is that they've got to be able to produce beef. So they've got to be reproductively sound, they've got to be mobile, and they've got to be able to get around the country, get in calf, and then get that calf on the ground and have that turnover happening. So you've got to always have that in the back of your head when you are looking at all these animals, that's the job that they are there to do. So this heifer that I put up in first, she's a beautiful long heifer. She's got a beautiful width of pelvis, nice width of pins, and it just carries right through her. She's smooth, nice short coat. So we're looking for those animals that are a little bit more tick resistance in this sort of climate. And that's the sort of animal, you know, with that nice sleek coat, tidy underneath. There's no extra navel there that's likely to throw through to any bull progeny. We don't want those sheathy bulls coming through that, you know, we then go on to treat. I'm a vet in my other life, so I see a lot of bull prolapses, and they're not fun to deal with, and they generally end up with the bull being in the meatworks, and at the end of the day, that's, you know, dollar signs going down the drain. So she's got a beautifully placed teats, nice little udder. Looks like she's going to udder up nicely when she does end up putting that calf on the ground. She is in calf, so we know that she's already halfway there to being productive and to getting that calf on a live calf on the ground, we hope. She tracks beautifully around the ring, places her feet nicely, and again, we're looking for that mobility, so that's the reason that heifer was put up into first place. The heifer that I've got in second place, she's a really tidy little package, a little bit more of a meat machine, this one. She just probably hasn't quite got the fat coverage of the heifer above her. We're looking for that nice, even muscling that carries right through, nice laid-in shoulders that carry right through the body with the good muscling, good cover of fat over that top line that goes right through to their pelvis and down through their pins and down through their back end. She's got a nice width of pelvis on her as well, but really, and good teat placement, it's really just a case of that growy sort of ability of the heifer above her that ended up putting her up in first place. The heifer that I've got in first, she's the youngest in the class, nice and growy, a really neat little heifer. She's got good mobility. She just doesn't quite have the frame and the fleshing and the bone of the two that are above her. And we are looking for carcasses at the end of the day. They can be as pretty as we want out here, but they're carcasses, and we need weight and meat on the hook when they end up at the meatworks. That's the ultimate aim. So we need all those attributes. in our females, but not to the extreme, because we need to know that those heifers are still going to be productive. And there seems to be a bit of a link between those really heavy boned, bit extreme animals and less production. They're just not capable of getting around the paddock, getting back in calves. So that's the things that we're looking for. The little heifer down the bottom here, there's really not much between those bottom two. It was purely just a case of she hasn't got that even muscling of the others above her, hasn't quite got the same fat coverage of the three heifers above her. And really, the only thing with her that I was picking on, if you were going to be picky here today, and you always try and say this diplomatically when you're about to speak, but it's just to do with reproduction. So just her teat length, that's one of the things that pushed her down in the line, as well as just that body condition here today. So good luck to all of you, and look forward to hearing your selected member speaking when we come back in for the bulls. We'll just see how we're going with the tallying.
Informative. Look, when you get experience like that out adjudicating over heifers and passing on a few tips, students would certainly take as much as you can in. And I know it's a lot to take in one go, and I'd need a notepad and going like anything to remember that. But certainly just take in what you can, and it'll certainly come back to you when the pressure's on and you're out in the judging ring yourself. Things like that will come back to you. But we're just going to have a little bit of time tallying up here before we call the bulls into the ring. So certainly relax a little bit, and gather your thoughts on the bulls and how you put them. You know how the judge is thinking now, how she put those heifers. It doesn't mean everything, the placement, but there's certainly points to be made up in the way you present your placements later on. So the girls are working friendly here, so just relax for a bit and we'll be back with you shortly.
Now try.
Can we have the bulls in the ring, please?
That's alright. That's the first one we created. That was Don't Finish, but that's the one that's waiting to drop down. See what's going on.
Can we have the Rockhampton Grammar School read up here, please?
Oh, yeah. All right, hang on.
Terry's welcome, please.
Which one?
We were GGS gold.
Our first speakers in our junior judging competition and our team competition is the Rockhampton Grammar School, and they've placed them in the order 3, 2, 1, 4. Hand over to the speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I place my judgment on these fine line of bulls, I'd just like to thank the Beef Australia for the opportunity to speak here today, the handlers and exhibitors for these cattle, the overjudge for a time today, and anyone else who made this day possible. We place these fine line of bulls in the order of 3,
Which one?
2, 1, 4. The bull we placed in first here today, we just think he was the overall package. He had that nice smoothness, he's carried his muscling right down through his legs, good depth of flank, and it's just his overall capacity and structure that put him over the bull in second. The bull in second, he had good depth, good depth of flank, good smoothness over the rump, good smooth shoulder, and it was just probably his overall smoothness that put him over the bull in third. The bull in third, he was a good bull. He probably didn't have that strength over the top line as the two bulls above him and the capacity as the two bulls above him, but he still had that nice tidy sheath, and it was just probably his structure that put him over the bull in fourth. The bull in fourth, he was just a little bit weak in those pastons, but he's a good bull. He had good bone and a good smooth shoulder, but he's just out the class on the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grammar School. Our next speaker in the junior judging competition is the Dacabin High School, Red, and they have placed these bulls in the order 3, 2, 1, 4. I'll hand over to their speaker for the school.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I place my comments on this fine line of Charbray bulls here today, I'd like to thank the Rockhampton Show Society for making this event possible, the handlers of these cattle, the breeders, and anyone else who makes this day possible. The order of Charbray bulls I placed today is 3, 2, 1, 4. We placed number 3 up in first today, as he has plenty of structure and plenty of length and depth about him. He's got a nice masculine face and stands on good bone. It's the overall length of this bull is what put him over bull number 2 in second place. Another structurally correct bull with another masculine face. He carries his depth and muscle coverage all the way down, and it was hard to split the bull in second and third place. However, we've gone with bull 2 as he has more muscle coverage than the bull below him. In third place today, we have number 1. Another beautiful Charbray bull in the class who represents a great breed character. He stands on good bone and has got plenty of strength of spine. And it's his overall structure is what put him over the bull in fourth place, number 4. Another beautiful bull. I just feel like as we observed him walking, he set back on his pasterns like very far. Although he's a nice bull and has plenty of length and depth about him, with a great muscle coverage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker in our junior judging team competition is Mondo State High School Blue, and I placed them in the order 3, 2, 1, 4.
Oh, yeah. Because it come with the heifers too.
Good afternoon. The bull we placed in first place today was bull number 3. This bull, he walked out really well. He was very freely moving. He's very tidy underneath. He carries great testicular development. He carries that volume you want in those bulls for those carcass traits. He's very strong in his bones, and this is why he's above the bull in second place, bull number 2. This bull, he's another really wide bull. He just wasn't as tidy underneath as the bull above him. However, he carried great strength of spine. He was very wide through his eye muscle area, and you could clearly see this as he was walking around. The bull we placed in third place today was bull number 1. This bull, again, carries that great strength of spine. He just doesn't have the bone that the bulls above him had. However, he's very deep and he's very structurally correct. The bull we placed in fourth place today was bull number 4. This bull, we felt he was a little bit weak in his pasterns. However, he carries great bone, and again, he carries that great strength of spine and that great testicular development. To conclude, I'd like to thank Beef Australia, the Overjudge, and anyone else who can make this day possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mondo State High School. Our next speaker in our junior judging competition in the teams judging is a Cathedral College Team Green, and I placed them in the order of 3, 1, 2, 4. I'll hand over to the speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and fellow competitors. My name is Tim Connor, and I'll be representing Team Green on the behalf of the Cathedral College. Before we begin passing our comments on this line of Charbray bulls, we would like to thank the Overjudge for their time, Beef 2021 Committee, owners and exhibitors of cattle, and anyone else who has given us the opportunity to judge here today. Today we were looking for a bull who carried out structure, muscling and fertility. We have placed these bulls in the order of 3, 1, 2, 4. We have placed bull number 3 in first place today as he has even muscling patterns, a nice depth hindquarter, good testicular development and overall strength at the back of him. That placed him over the bull in second. Bull number 1 was placed in second today due to his tidiness of the sheath, muscling and depth of hindquarter. It was his overall wiry head and mobility that put him over the bull in third, which was bull number 2. Bull number 2 had good convexity of the hindquarter, a tidy sheath and strong top line. It was his overall muscling pattern and fat coverage that put him over the bull in fourth today. Bull number 4 was in fourth place today as he had good length about him and good testicular development. It was his looseness of sheath that put him in fourth. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Cathedral College.
Make sure you keep the front over.
So no one's able to die.
What have you guys been?
Our next speaker in our junior judging competition is the Camden Girls Grammar School White, and they placed in the order 3-1-2-4. I'll hand over to their speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we place our judgment on this fine line of bulls, we would just like to thank the Charbray Society for putting on this event, Beef Australia, the exhibitors and handlers of these cattle, and the overjudge for her time, and anyone else involved. Our judgment was 3-2-1-4. Our team was looking for a good potential inbreeding and a structured sound bull. And 3 had all this, and muscling down to his hocks, long-bodied, has a good frame size and stands well. Comparing this beast to the one we have in second, he was more correct and stand a bit more better than the one in first. Two has good tracking ability and stands on good bone. Number 4 was outclassed on the day but still has a good muscular stifle, but was just lacking in the rear leg columns to the ones above them. All these bulls are credit to their owners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Girls Grammar School. Our next speakers in our junior judging competition in the Charbray team judging is Mara State High School. I'll hand over to their speaker for their commentary.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, I'd like to thank Beef Australia for holding this event and everyone that made this day possible. I really do believe that when you're looking at these seed stock bulls, they need to be able to go into commercial operations and do well. They need to produce beef for our industry. And bearing that in mind, this is the order that I've placed them in today. Order that we've placed them in. 3-1-2-4. I really thought number 3 was just the ultimate bull today. He really just you couldn't look past him when he walked into that ring. He was reproductively sound and he ticked all those boxes. He had muscle going from the front end to the hind end and he really was just a standout today. In second, we've got bull number 1. Now, bull number 1, he was a meat machine, I thought. When we first saw him, he really did. He was great. He was really, muscle pattern was really great, and he was reproductively sound as well. I probably thought he lacked the strength that the other bulls have along the top line, and that's what put him down into second today. In number 3rd, we've got number 2. Number 2 was very muscly correct. But however, I think he lacked the reproductive soundness that the bulls in front of him had. I probably also would have liked him to walk out a bit better in the ring today because that's what let him down. And the bull in 4th today, taking nothing away from this bull, he's got a very good size outlook on him. I just however thought he wasn't as reproductively sound and I'd like to tie him up underneath a bit more to get him up there today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mara State High School. Our next speaker in the school team judging is the Camden State High School, and I placed them in the order 3-2-4-1. I'll hand over their speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I place my comments on this fine line of bulls, I'd like to thank the overjudge, the Beef Australia, and anyone else who made this day possible. Today we've placed this fine line of bulls in the order of 3-2-4-1. Today we were looking for the bull that was the ultimate package, a bull with great testicular development, a nice strong top line, stands on good bone and walks out well. Today, bull number 3 was that bull for us.
once again, he just shows that like really good testicular development, nice tidy underline, really masculine head, and was just why he was in first today. In second today was bull number 2. We placed this bull in second today because we feel he just didn't have the testicular development of the bull above him. However, he's still another lovely bull. He has that great bone, a really masculine head, and strong along the top line. Bull number 4 was placed in third today, as we feel he just didn't hold the strength across the top line as the bulls above him. However, he's still another tremendous bull. He has fabulous bone, really good testicular development, just a little bit untidy in the sheath, more than we would like, but another great bull. Bull number 1 was in fourth today. This bull, there's nothing wrong with this bull. He's another fabulous bull. However, we feel he just didn't have the strength along the top line and the masculinity as the bulls above him. However, he still walks on that tremendous bone. He walks out nicely. It just was his back line that got him down today. These bulls are all a credit to their owner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rockhampton High School.
Maybe I'll just go. Yeah, you can. Or do you want to just go?
You should let us.
The little one.
Our next speaker in our junior judging competition is St. Ursula's College from Yeppoon. I'll hand over their speaker. They place in order 3, 2, 4, 1. I'll hand over their speaker to make commentary.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we place our comment on this fine line of bulls, I would like to thank Beef Show Society, the owners of these cattle, and any other people that have made this day possible. We placed these bulls in the following order of 3, 2, 4, 1. We placed number 3 in first because he was a very complete bull. He had nice expressions through his rump, and he was very structurally correct throughout his body. Followed by him was number 2. Number 2 had a nice heavy bone and a very sorry look about him. And in third place, we placed number 4. He had very heavy bone, nice masculinity about him, but he just lacked the qualities as the bulls I placed above him. And in fourth place was a lovely bull, just not what we were looking for on the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, St. Ursula's School from Yeppoon.
They're all the trains team. Oh, were they? And died there. Oh, right. I think so, someone said.
Our next speaker in our junior judging competition, just down the road here, is Caboolture State High School Green. I'll hand over to their speaker to make their comments.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leah Craig. I'll be representing Caboolture State High School's Green team. I'd like to say thank you to Sheree, the judge, the stewards, the handlers, the owners, and Beef Australia. First of all, I put in first place number 3. The bull had great trackability. It stood really square, a straight back, which is desirable, good depth and width in the muscle in the hindquarters. In second place, I put number 2. It had the same qualities and characteristics as the first bull, number 3. However, it was less desirable. It had less desirable coverage in the loins and smaller in length. In third place, I put bull number 4. It was again looked really well put together. However, the sheath was not as tight and was uneven, so it dangled a bit lower. In fourth place, I put bull number 1. It had smaller testes, so it wouldn't be a desirable breeding prospect. However, it didn't have the sheath could cause infection
as it was very low to the ground. However, had a good stance and good trackability. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caboolture. I'm impressed that there's so many school kids that have come from a long distance here. We've had Caboolture, there's kids from Ipswich and Dacabin, and I'm really impressed that you travel this way to Beef to represent your school. Our next speaker in our junior judging competition is the Rockhampton Girls Grammar School Gold. I'll hand over to the speaker for the commentary.
Good afternoon. Before I start the judgment of my team, I'd like to thank the Overjudge, the Beef Australia Committee, the Charbray Society, the owners and exhibitors of these cattle, and anyone else involved. Our order was 3, 2, 4, 1. We placed this number 3 bull in first, as he tracks well, he has a tidy underline, he's wide and long, and has a nice rounded rump. We placed number 2 in second, as he's a good top line, a rounded rump, a good underline, but he didn't track as well as the bull above him. We placed number 4 in third, as he's a good top line, he tracked well, but his testicles were uneven and this brought him down. We placed number 1 in 4, as he's a good rump, but he didn't track as well, but still a credit to his owners and exhibitors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Girls Grammar School.
Looked out like 40 cabins or something. So, yeah. There's so many cabins and campgrounds and stuff there.
They're good too, I've stayed there.
Yeah, it was nice. Had a good sleep last night.
I kept waking. I woke up at 1 o'clock this morning and get back to sleep.
Oh, really?
Thinking about today, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Our next speaker in the junior judging competition is the Rockhampton Grammar School Black. I'll hand over to the speaker to make a commentary.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we pass our comment on this tremendous line of bulls here today, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Charbray Society for sponsoring this event, Beef Australia for putting on and hosting this, our Overjudge Sherry Gooding for volunteering her time here today, the owners and exhibitors of these fine animals, and everyone else who helped to make this day possible.
Today our order is 3, 2, 1, 4.
Today we were looking for a bull with a lot of bone, masculinity, showing that thickness right through his body, but also showing that carcass attributes right through the rest of his body as well. Today, bull number 3 ticked all them boxes for us today. He's a very complete bull. He's showing that thickness and bone about him. He's also very reproductively sound underneath. He's got a good set of testicles on him and a very masculine head. It was just this bull's overall masculine head and early growth and maturing that got him in the first place over the bull in second, bull number 2. This bull, he's a very good, he's a good bull. He's got a lot of bone about him, and he's got a good carcass body about him. However, he didn't quite have that strength of head. But it was just this bull's overall carcass attributes along his top line that got him into second place over the bull in third, bull number 1. This bull, he didn't quite have the overall growth of the class, but he also still, he's lacking that eye muscle strength. However, he's still a good bull standing on tremendous bone and still reproductively sound. It was just his bull's overall structure that got him into third place over the bull in fourth, bull number 4. His bull, he didn't quite have the structure in his legs and his feet. However, this bull, he's still a very big framey bull. He's going to grow into a huge bull in the future. However, he just didn't quite have that structure compared to the other 3 bulls above him here today.
All these bulls are a credit to their owner and exhibitors and their breed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grammar School. The next speaker in our junior judging competition is the Maloney State High School Red. I'll hand over to them for their commentary.
Line and stands on great bone, but bull number 1 has been placed in third because he doesn't stand on as nice as bone as the 2 bulls above him. Still has nice meat coverage, but doesn't have as strong as the top line. Bull in 4th place doesn't track as well as the others. still has nice meat coverage and a strong top line. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Maddie carries you with the saga. They want a good part of that's good. Let's do practice. Oh, right, I know. What do you sleep? It's not cool in the market.
Our next speaker in our junior judging competition, in the team's junior judging competition, is the St. Brendan School Green. I'll hand over the speaker now for their commentary.
Good afternoon, judges and committee members that made this event possible. My team and I have selected this strong line of bulls as 3-1-4-2. We've placed number 3 in first position as he is a big boned animal that holds his head high with good width and depth. Bull 1 has been placed in second because of his ability to carry himself and his muscle coverage that will pass on to his calves. Bull 4 is again a good bull that had good muscle coverage as well. The bull in fourth place, number 2, was again a good bull but just outdone by the ones placed above him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, St. Brendan's. Our second last speaker in our junior judging competition is the Monte State High School. And they place them in the order of 3-1-4-2. I'll hand over to them for their speaker for their commentary.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as this cattle walked in the ring, I was looking for that nice beast that just tracked real well, musculant, put that beef trait into its progeny. And today, I placed my bulls in 3-1-4-2. Bull number 3. It was just that ideal bull. As it walked in, it just tracked smoothly. It's that strength between its shoulders all the way to its hindquarters. I just felt once I put it over my progeny, it'd be very nice. Bull number 1. He was a little bit smaller, but I just felt with that soft, smooth feel the whole way across him, with that testicular development, he was just a very nice bull. Bull number 4. He was the biggest bull out of them all. When he walked in, just real nice, smooth. What lacked him down today was his eyes. I didn't like his eyes. When I was putting them over my heifers and my cows, I just felt later down the track those older cows could possibly get cancer for light pigment within the eye. Bull number 3. He was a small bull, very nice, smooth bull. A lot of people placed him off further, but what let him down today, when he walked in, he felt lame in one of his hind legs. And that's why I placed him down here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monday High School.
Amazing. So good.
And our last speakers in our school team's junior judging competition is probably one of the youngest teams in the judging competition. It's the Capricorn School of Distance Education. And they place these bulls in the order of 4-3-2-1. I'll hand over to the 4-3-1-2. Sorry. I'll hand over to the speaker to give their commentary.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we place our judgment on this fine line of animals, we would like to thank the Overjudge, the Beef Australia Committee, and anyone else who made this day possible. We placed these cattle in the order of 4-3-1-2. In first, we placed number 4. He had good muscle, good length, and a nice depth. In second, we placed number 3 because he had a good masculine head and walked well but didn't have as straight a back. In third, we placed number 1 because he had good bone but didn't have as nice a head. taking nothing away from this bull in fourth. Number 2 is in fourth because he had a nice length, but didn't walk as well as the ones above him today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. These animals are a credit to their owner.
Give him another round of applause, please. Congratulations. Okay. After we'll get Cherie in here to give her placings on this class, and then I want all the schools with your blazers on to come in here so we can get a group photograph with our president, the Charbray president, and Les, and just all the organisers that were here. We want you to group photograph, and I want you all here present so that when we do the announcement.
If it's an hour, make sure both teams got pulled together.
You guys all need for steers as well?
Sure.
Woo! What else are you guys doing the rest of the week?
So we're just covering Stock Live today, but we'll be in the AAM tent, kind of just talking with, just everyone about what we do, I guess.
Really, whatever you're told.
Whatever,
honestly.
yeah, honestly. Put me wherever.
Yeah.
No, it'll be good, I reckon. What are you doing for the week?
Not part of the school's side of it yet, but one day. I just want to say congratulations to all of you students. You've done an absolutely fantastic job. It's a really big ask to get up here and speak. It's a big ask to get out there and have a go. To those of you that didn't get a chance to speak, I'll let you know now it was very close. The split in it ended up being very close, and I'm quite pleased actually that a lot of you agree with me, so I must have it right? So those of you who had them around the other way, there wasn't much of a split between them. So basically your justification on that, it brought a lot of you back up anyway in your point scoring. The bull that I put in first place, he's just the most complete package out here today. He's got great growth for age. They're all a similar age. He's just a beautiful, smooth bull. He's got lovely, smooth muscling and good even fat coverage, which just carries all the way through, right from the nicely laid-in shoulder all the way through over that hind quarter. He's got beautiful thickness of hind quarter, and he just parades around beautifully. He's a nice, proud bull. Got good hooding over that eye and just a really nice structurally sound bull, tidy underneath, good size of testicles for his age, and so really it just came down to his mobility, a little bit smaller in the testicles than the bull above him and just a little bit less even in that fat coverage. The bull that I've placed in third, not much between those two bulls. Basically for me it just came down to the bull above him being just that little bit tidier package, more even and a bit tidier underneath than this guy that I've ended up putting into third place. Just that little bit more sort of sloping over the hind quarter there, and just a little to do with the muscle distribution in this bull. He wasn't really parading that well for his little handler, which made it a little bit more hard to observe how he was walking. He does place his feet quite well, but at the end of the day it just came down to the evenness of the package. The bull that I've got in fourth, absolutely nothing really wrong with this bull. It just can't, with him, it was just a case of him being not quite as even and complete as the bulls above him. Absolutely carcass bull. He's got beautiful length about him, just didn't have the springer rib and a little bit lax in those back pasterns, and as we know, mobility is really important, and just that underline that we were looking at here today as well, and overall muscling and filling out of that carcass. But I think you'll find, you know, in 6 months down the track, that's going to be a very impressive animal. So once again, thank you very much, students. You've done a fantastic job here today. I've really enjoyed judging you all. Thank you to the Charbray Society and Beef Australia for inviting me here today to do this job and to overjudge all the students. And we'll go on to announce now who our winners are. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and the spectators, all the pupils, the school teams, students that competed, can all the teams that spoke come out the front, please, while we for us to announce the placings. On behalf of the Charbray Society, I'd really like to thank Cherie for looking over. It's a big job, and she's been there and doing this for a while, and there's certainly a lot of points there we can take on board. As well as a big thank you to Terry here. Terry's been at this job for a while, keeps everyone hopping. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just a word before I read out the placings here. Just for example, over we're going to read out 4 placings. There's 3 first, second, and third banners, but we are going to. It's worthy of putting in a 4th in there. There's only 4 points splits these 4 placings, so I think that's a credit to you all. And I'm sure if we went further down the line, there's not a lot between the lot. So everyone, your day does come eventually, and certainly if you're confident in the way you've placed things, well, you can't go wrong with that. But in 4th place, we have Motto State High Blue. And that team's made up of Maddie, Tegan, Kira Lee, and Fadia. And they're on 184 points.
Is there 4 of them? Yeah. Oh, well, do you want to take those? Yeah, the 4 bags, girls, for your other 2 members.
Okay, well done to Motto State High Blue. In 3rd place, we have the Cathedral College Green on 186 points. We have our speaker there, Tim Connor, Matty Frankish, Cody Mortimer, and Dawson Jones.
Give them a bag, boys.
Well done to the Cathedral College Green. 2nd place, we have Mara State High on 187 points. There we have Georgie and Lara Coombe and Raj and Brody Lang. So well done, Mara State High.
Boys, don't forget the boys, give them the bags.
Don't shake it. Yeah, shake it out of that Charbray bag.
2 each.
And that leaves us, ladies and gentlemen, with our first place getters and a teams, so school teams judging for Beef 21 goes to Rocky Grammar Black, and that's made up of Hayden Hanson, Gemma Lang, Clay Goodwin, and Piper Christensen. So well done to Rocky Grammar Black. They all look good with their Charbray bag tree, don't you think? We've got a Charbray breeder. We've got a future Charbray breeder in that team there, Piper, eh? Yeah, okay, can we have all the teams out for a photo, including all those that didn't speak? We just would like to show your school off.
It's an earthy one.
I'm pretty sure most of the time you like turning him up there, so you'd like the ag science class anyway. So ladies and gentlemen, just our interest there, our first place team, the Rocky Grammar Black, was on 188 points, Marra State High in second place 187 points, Cathedral College Green 186 points, and in fourth place Monto State High Blue on 184 points. So with 4 points between, as I said before, between fourth and first, that's a pretty handy effort.
Hey, Les.
Hey, John. Yeah, he's got them at the moment. Yeah, exactly. That's the president.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we're getting all the school teams ready for a photo, I know you all got your places you got to go. I'm just going to, we've got Mr. Les Marshall here. Les is the longest serving president we've had of the Charbray Society. He's only just finished a long term. That was his second term round. He's been around this game for a while, and he's just going to tell us a little bit of the history of the Charbray Society and their association with beef, right back to Beef 88 and the school teams judging.
Well, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I think most people know that beef started in 1988, and Heck Maynard was president of the society at that stage, and Ken Coombs was there, and John Croker, and Shirley McCamley, and so when it instigated, the Charbray Society through Heck volunteered to do the school team judging, and you know, we're certainly proud and privileged to still be invited to do it. We just love doing it. This is the future of the cattle industry, these young fellas and girls, of course, and it's something we are very proud of to sponsor. Thank you.
Thanks, Les. It certainly is the case, and as I said before, we love getting our more so as you can tell the potential out there in some of the comments, especially we did hear that wild-eyed bull. I'm just not too sure that was a beauty. As long as he remembers that when he starts clubbing around later in years. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's certainly any chance we got to put Charbray cattle out in front of the public eye. And look at the crowd here. It's great to see so many out here and watching the young talent out here on display. So thanks very much for that, for the opportunity, the Beef Committee.
Oi!
Are you out here tomorrow in Sydney?